And this is a special edition of Next, New England's Extraordinary Talent. And this is a segment that we're going to be doing more of as we bring in artists from the local area who are doing wonderful things in the community. And this evening, we want to welcome T.C. Eckstein to the studios. How you doing this evening,
I'm
T.C.?
doing well. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Okay. And first of all, you could just explain to our listening audience, T.C. Now, is that your name? Is it a nickname? That's your stage name?
It's my stage name, and actually, it was given to me. It's a toss-up between my dad and my uncle. Of course, you know, we grew up with the jazz history in the household, and the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, the fascinating theme songs and the intros. I just kind of I picked up on them because of hearing so much jazz in the house. So I really loved Top Cat, that cartoon. So
right.
they started calling me TC Top Cat from watching it so much. And the Flintstones intro, we used to sing that by heart. Johnny Quest. And the Jetsons. Oh my goodness, that's one of the biggest ones because I love when Jane does a solo song.
Right.
And that one really kind of inspired me the most ever since I was like about 6 years old. Mm-hmm. I want to be like that.
Well, first of all, we're going to just get into some of the reasons why you're here. And obviously, you're a very talented a singer. You're with a gospel group. You're with the Kevin Shops group.
Yes.
And you're with the Rick Eckstein Jazz group.
Mm-hmm. My brother.
And you do your own thing every now and then. Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of people know you from singing and seeing you out performing. You were actually out in Hartford last weekend at Tastemakers in Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Phenomenal show.
Oh, that was awesome. That was so much entertaining. I loved it. I'm going to try and get back there in April.
Okay.
Definitely for the April one.
Yeah, all right. Then we're definitely looking forward to having you back out there because you definitely you have your own unique style and you're definitely doing your thing. You can tell you love performing.
Thank you. Thank you. I really do.
I know. It definitely shows. And a great show you put on also.
Thank you.
But one of the things we want to talk about first and foremost, though, is something that's real important to everyone that's watching and who may be affected in some way or another from personal experiences or family relations or just hearing, more and more communications about it. And that's the American Heart Association.
Yes.
And the wonderful things that they're doing in terms of helping to help individuals to live better by eating better, exercising, taking care of ourselves.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
you have a personal interest in being affiliated with such a wonderful organization, and I want to know if you wouldn't mind just letting our audience hear a little bit about your story.
Sure. I personally have been diagnosed in 2005 with congestive heart failure, and I now have a pacemaker which was put in 2009. My father passed away in 2005 of the same thing, and his mother died at a young age also. He was only 55 when he passed. And over the last few years, it's become running seemingly rampant among our family members. So we're all very conscious and aware of it, that we all need to look out for ourselves. But I used to work as a nurse in addition to singing before I got very, very ill. And I worked as a nurse for like 12 years. And so when it was devastating when I did find out about the condition, but I was very much intrigued in finding out all the information I could to help take care of myself and get myself better.
Right.
Because I'm very much into church and to the Lord, and I believe when God says you're healed, you're healed. But he told me you need to go get in contact with people to find out how to stay healed and stay healthy and everything. And in that process, I learned that there are ways that, a lot of people don't realize there's self-preventative health measures we can take that are very simple things. And there's a site that is online called www.heart.org. And if you go on that site, you can read people's stories, including mine. Just type in Teresa Eckstein, looking for my story, and you can read other women's stories. It's also on YouTube. And you can sign petitions just by entering a couple little bits of information. Petitions for legislature, governors, senators to pass bills, which we got the Nutrition Act passed for the children to have healthier lunches in schools instead of those snack machines and things. And, you know, so there are things and strives being made, and they are paying attention. And we're trying to get it more incorporated into your doctor exams, because a lot of people are afraid to ask questions. And that's what I'm very passionate about, the whole transition I've had with my life change altering. I want to make sure I give back, because God has given me a whole new lease on life. And I love my new life. I'm not miserable or anything. I'm happy to be here. I mean, you know, now it's like I count the stars, and every day is more precious than you know, as like I didn't notice that before. And you notice it when something like this occurs. And I just want to share that with people and help other people to continue to live and know things, like little simple changes they can make. And that website definitely is a real great beginning. And even just getting out and doing a little walking is a good start. And, you know, trying to relieve stress and meditation, prayer. You know, there's all kinds of ways that we can get ourselves on that track so we lessen our chance of having the heart problems.
Outstanding. And also, you were mentioning off camera before we started this interview that your sister now also has a pacemaker.
Yes,
and I know that must have been such a traumatic ordeal for her, but you going through it yourself, I'm sure that's been comforting to her for you to be able to.
Yeah, she just recently, she hit me up on Facebook and said, she asked me, you have a pacemaker too? And, you know, we talked about which kind we have and how it's actually, the technology today is so amazing. It hooks into the telephone, so it automatically sends the messages through the internet to the doctor's office. So they automatically get it. If something's wrong, they'll notify me to come into the office. So, and I never know when they're checking me, except sometimes I look up and the machine got a light on. But it just runs a check on me. I don't feel it or anything. But, you know, it was comforting for me to tell her, you can relax. And actually, I call it my little mechanical friend that God blessed me with. So now, less anxiety, because I know as long as it's there. It's also a combination defibrillator. So it would revive me if I did have a heart attack. So with that in mind, I was, you know, relaying to my sister, you can be at ease now. And don't be afraid that you have this. This is actually something to be comfortable with. Just, you know, we have to be careful of walking through the airport and getting beeped. We can't do that. We have a pass that we have to show them and go around, but for security checks. But you know, I used to have anxiety attacks when I first found out about it. Is that right? Yeah, I self-consciously started saying, you know, having pains here, and I really did have the physical pain, but it turned out to be the anxiety attacks, you know. So once I got the pacemaker, things calmed down, and I began to relax more, and, you know, then I could. So I think she's on her way to feeling much better. But it was a great shock because you know, I've made the family very aware of everything and to check themselves. But she suddenly just collapsed a couple of months ago at work. And she's in Las Vegas, Nevada. She's also a gospel singer, and she's a psalmist, and she's a minister, a reverend, I'm sorry. I have one sister here in Springfield that's a minister, and then the other one in Las Vegas that's a reverend. And they airlifted her to the hospital and revived her 3 times. Wow. And yeah, she survived. I had the whole Facebook, all my followers, over 2,000 people praying for her. And I just truly believe, the grace of God, He kept her here with us. So, you know, it makes it even more a passion for me to get this word out.
One of the things that really strikes me is hearing how heart disease has affected, you know, like you say, yourself, your sister, your father, at such a young age.
Yes.
And I think that's the thing, is that maybe more so in our community, in the black community, where we take so much for granted, that, and you know, you hear it all the time. Well, if you're over such an age, you should be getting your colon checked. You need to check your cholesterol. You need to check your heart pressure.
Prostate, this and this and that. Yeah.
You know, and on and on and on. But you know, oh, I feel fine.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. And like, I'm glad you said that, you brought that up, because I actually, when they found mine, it was a fluke because I had pneumonia. And they did a chest x-ray, and my heart was the size of the Grinch when he found love, you know, grew big.
Yes.
So I seen the film when the doctor held it up, and I said,
Okay.
wow, my heart looks really big there. You know, I didn't think anything of it. And he says, we're going to send you to the cardiologist. So then, you know, I started getting worried then, but I had one of those panic attacks after that, because I was like, come on, you guys are checking me out, but you're not telling me anything. I didn't find out till 10 years later. It actually dates back to the year my daughter was born, which was a very difficult pregnancy. She was born emergency C-section because my blood pressure went through the roof and I was very bloated. And they took her out so fast they cut her forehead, but it's gone away now. But afterwards, when they released me, they just were treating me for asthma and high blood pressure for 10 years, weight going up and down, up and down. You know, I couldn't figure out what was wrong, and family's like, why are you tired all the time? Why are you no energy? Why are you gaining weight? You know, and I'm feeling awful, so I fell into a depression and stuff, but I'm working 2 full-time jobs, raising 2 kids, and I finally, the doctor, when he found out about it, he faxed the letter to my job. I was working in pediatric surgical surgery as a nurse there. And they faxed the letter to the staff, the doctors I were working under, and said she can't no longer work. She needs to stop immediately. I was literally walking, and you know, I could drop dead at any moment.
Exactly.
So it was a very traumatic, shocking thing when I found out.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
But I went into the hospital on my own,
Okay.
and I demanded they do all the testing.
Okay.
And I was over 300 and something pounds. Wow. Yeah, all water, fluid retention, and you know, they said my heart was only working out of 100%. Your heart is supposed to work good, right? Mine was only working 25% good. The rest of it, the muscle was totally weak and not functioning. And to this day, it's only up to 34 with medication. So I still have to very much take care of myself and take it easy. And that's when they dated it back to 10 years, something traumatic. And of course, your pregnancy with a woman, you usually find out what you're going to have when you get older, possibly. Like diabetes comes out. It's evident if you're going to have high blood pressure or things like that. That shows up sometimes in our pregnancies, which is indicative of what'll be later on.
I see.
So, but they didn't address it afterwards. That was the problem. My weight went down, so they, you know, just gave me high blood pressure pills. So, but once they found it, you know, I've been on a series of meds, and it's plenty of meds, but I also have vitamins in there too.
Okay.
And, you know, and I've learned so much from the Heart Association about the nutrition, and that's how I'm here today, and I'm still doing my thing.
Okay.
And, able to sing, even though I've had breathing difficulties from here and there, but you know, God's blessed me. I'm still doing it.
That's right. Well, speaking of the American Heart Association, there's a very important day coming on Saturday, May the 19th. There's going to be the 2012 Pioneer Valley Heart Walk. And registration is at 9 a.m. Walk starts at 10 a.m. 3-mile walk, rain or shine.
Amen.
And if you want more information on this, you can call area code 413-735-2109. There's also a website, www.pioneervalleyheartwalk.org. And we'll have all this information on our website, and we'll also link you into TC's website and the American Heart Association's website, so you'll have all this information in terms of how to be a part of saving someone's life, saving your own life. And TC, I don't know if you want to say anything else about that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This is particularly the team that I have. Everyone, you know, that's each person is having different teams represented. And you can get people to sponsor you on the sheet, and they make a donation, and you decide to walk. Your kids can walk with you. It's through Forest Park, and it's a 5-mile walk, but you can do anywhere from 1 to 1.5 to 3. It's your choice. You don't have to do the full 5. And, you know, the money goes towards the advocating and the, you know, get all the things that we're working towards with the legislature and, you know, medical wise, getting all these things into the system so people get the necessitative cares that they need. And my team in particular is called the FB Heart Walkers, Teresa Eckstein's FB Heart Walkers, which of course means Facebook. But you don't have to be on Facebook. Just go to heart.org and just type in my name or FB Heart Walkers, and that's where they can sign up and get on board. And Nikki Burnett is the regional director that I work under, and I'm also in the division of Power to End Stroke. So that forum is coming up April 9th, I'm sorry. And that's going to be at the Mass Mutual Center. And that's only $5 to go, and they serve a great luncheon and give out all the goodies like I have here for you today.
All right.
I got you your hat in case, hopefully you'll be at our walk this year.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I'll
there
be right
you go.
there. Try to put a team together from Comcast.
Yeah. And we have today a $10 gift certificate from Macy's.
Oh,
they're
wow.
one of our biggest sponsors for Go Red for Women and Power to End Stroke. This is information on the stroke. And I got you a little, this is something we give out. I don't know if you all can see it flashes, but you can pin it on your hip when you're walking, and there's a pedometer too I got for you that counts the miles. And here's a stress reliever. We got all sorts of goodies here, and the Go Red pins, bracelets. And this especially is a real good diet book. And we also have a soul food cooking book, which is designed to, of course, because you know how we love to eat soul food, Jamaican food, Spanish food. I love it all too.
Right.
But there's ways to prepare it that are really good. This is not the soul food recipe book, but we do have one, and it's posted on that site, heart.org. So recipes are there, and it's a lot to explore there.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, we need to bring you in more often. You're going to bring gifts like this. Oh, yeah, for sure.
And this is a magnet that it also, I don't know if many of you may have seen the commercial they used to run, Face, Arm, Speech, and Time. Is it a stroke? Check these signs fast. Those are the 4 number 1 signs that can tell you if someone's face is like dropping on one side, or their arm is having pain, and just one side of the body, and their speech is just not making sense. And then that time, call 911 right away.
That's what's so important.
Yeah,
taking care of those signs early.
Right.
That'd be safe to sorry. Wow, this is truly outstanding. We'll continue to talk more about this as we get closer to the date. And last but not least, you are also a part of a spread in the magazine. The magazine is called Exhale, and this is TC here on the end. I don't know if we can get a close shot of her.
Yes, that's when I was chosen a leading lady in the Go Red for Women. I'm a leading lady spokeswoman for Western Mass, and I'm, as you can see, one that represents women of color, especially because we're most affected in our communities. Like you said, it's the poverty, and we have higher stress levels. We eat certain diets that are different, and so that's why I'm very committed and advocate for that, especially being a black woman myself, which may not appear that way, but yes, indeed. Just like Lena Horne said, I'll always be true to myself and my race. I am a black woman, and I am affected by this, and it can happen to anybody, anyone. And you don't have to be extremely fat, you don't have to be extremely thin, medium. It can happen to anyone. So,
on the last note on this segment, I just wanted to kind of get your input, because I think one of the issues that's kind of driving politics today is the whole notion of we're telling kids what to eat. Michelle Obama is has a program out, Get Up and Move, I think it was called something like that. But it's not only about exercising, but it's about, like we were talking about earlier, having nutrition put in the schools.
Right.
Instead of soda machines, have some juice. And, the entrees that are being served, they should be healthy foods.
Right.
And, some people in the political, or on one side of the political spectrum are like, don't tell us what to do.
Right.
We should be able to eat what we want to eat, which is true, in one
a
regard. But at
sense.
the same time, I think it's like knowing what we know now about the foods that we eat and the choices that we make, that especially for young kids to be able to at least, I know when I was coming up, I couldn't appreciate broccoli.
Oh, yeah.
Or vegetables.
My thing was I didn't like lima beans. My dad made us eat lima beans.
Exactly.
But,
but those are things that are good for us, and that have the nutrition, things that are going to keep us healthy, keep us from being obese, and so forth. And so I just wanted to know if you could just give your personal reflections about the politics of eating well.
Okay, well, I'm glad you brought that up because actually recently, within the past year, we did manage to get the Heart Association and Nutrition Act passed. There's been a lot of talk about that, but a lot of people don't know it was the Heart Association that was very pivotal in that.
Okay.
And what we have managed to do, because there have been some television shows like 2020 or one of them, I'm not sure which one it was, but they showed how certain schools in middle class, nice, rich neighborhoods, they have instituted a very nutritious diet for the kids. And it's just like kind of if you went into the hospital, they have nutritious meals and menu, and it's edible. The kids can eat it. It's not a bag of chips and soda, and they can take their parents, give them change, and they use that money instead of buying the school lunch because it's so grotesque to them. They go to the vending machines. Wow. But these schools offer them rich salads with fruit displays and. They have it set up so nicely, and I saw this all on television, and I said, this should be instituted in all the schools, and so the Nutrition Act, we did get it passed, and all the schools are starting to, slowly integrate it, but we still have some hurdles to go over. I mean, now we have this whole big thing with the beef industry talking about pink slime and whether it's healthy or not, I try to steer away from beef. One thing for certain I can tell you is with my heart condition, a main thing on my diet that they had given me in the hospital, they call it the Mediterranean diet. It's really poultry, fish, chicken is okay, turkey, lean meats. But they really tell you beef, if you have to eat it once a month, but try to stay away from it, and definitely leave pork alone because it's salt. And we've heard so many other things about it being unclean.
Right.
But beef today has a lot of problems too. So, I personally think that no one should eat beef. But I'm not going to dog out the beef industry because right. when you can't afford all that stuff, you eat what you got,
Sure.
But
be aware.
Be aware, right? Because our kids today, I mean, come on, they're very obese, and a lot of them are eating at McDonald's every day. I have a 16-year-old that she loves Wendy's and McDonald's, and it's like for years we've had to try to pull her away from that. She's addicted to the nuggets and that garbage, and it's upsetting because you want to give your kids that, but they don't understand. Like when we were little, McDonald's was a treat.
Oh, absolutely.
It wasn't every day run over there with the dollar menu.
No, exactly.
It was a miracle.
It was a road trip. Get the whole family together.
Yeah, we were singing in the car.
Yeah, right.
The Big Mac song, 2 beef patties, lettuce, cheese. But
yeah, that's so true.
Nowadays, these kids think it's their privilege.
Exactly. That's the norm.
Yeah. So it's a big concern. The Nutrition Act. If we don't pay attention to our kids, and they start dying young from obesity, and they are. People are more and more dying at a younger age.
Exactly.
And that's what scares me the most. It's no longer your 90-year-old, 100-year-old people disease. When I go into the hospital, they're looking at me like, are you on the right floor? And I'm like, unfortunately, yeah, because I'm like, it's happening, more and more.
But I definitely want to thank you for stopping by and talking to us about the American Heart Association and your personal endeavors. But I certainly can't let you go without talking to you about some musical projects that you're involved with.
Okay.
And we're going to start out first with the Kevin Sharp Group. Now they have a brand new album out. It's called God's Songs, and I've heard some of the songs, and this is a great album. And
thank you.
I don't know if you could just tell us a little bit about it, and are you singing leads on any of the songs?
Not on this one, but the next one coming out, I sing lead on a particular song called He Reigns, and I have a lead part in a couple of other songs.
Okay.
But those songs are featured on YouTube because we performed at the House of Blues in Boston numerous times. So
is that right?
That's videotaped on there, and you could
Okay.
see that. But this CD, God's Songs, it just was very passionate for all of us together, and very touching and,
Yes.
and very inspirational. When you open up the CD, and you can, I know right now you've got all the plastic on it, but our pictures are in there, and on the CD you can see all of us. I don't want to miss anybody's name, but we have Phil Govan on bass. We have Troy Norrington, Kim Jefferson Norrington's husband. He plays percussion. Kevin is a multitask, man.
Yes, he
he's
is.
vocalist. He's a bass player. He's keys.
Yes.
He can cover the drums, whatever. I mean,
Right.
And we
He's
have
so humble.
Yeah, we have Eleazar Martinez on drums. So he brings in that Latin flavor too, that spices it up. And every single member that's in the group, his sister, Wanda Rivera Sharp, Linda Nevers, there's Robert Rivera, who's Wanda is Kevin's sister, and Robert and Sophia are his niece and nephew, Wanda's children, and they're part of the group. But Robert Rivera also sings with Ty Tribbett's group and Rashad McPherson. So all of us, we got some things going on, but we still are strong as the Kevin Sharp group. And
yes, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I really
and I don't want to forget, I'm sorry, Greg Sutton's in our group too, an excellent vocalist, powerhouse vocalist, and a new keyboard player, Abe Sanchez, and a new guitar player that we have, and his name is Kevin also. I don't want to mix up his last name, but it's listed. They're all listed in the CD.
All right.
But yeah. We've been together since 2006. I've been with them.
Okay.
And prior to that, I did funk bands and, jazz groups, and I was into the secular music, but, I've always deep down inside felt I wanted to do gospel. But I really got turned on with the Kirk Franklin movement when he came on the scene, and he kind of twisted. And I realized you can do so much. It doesn't have to be traditional.
Right.
It can be jazzy, so I bring elements of jazz to it, and I also bring house music to it, and someone else brings traditional to it, someone else brings rock into it, and we just mix it all up, and you got a lot of flavor in there.
That's right. It is all for the same cause, giving praise to the Almighty.
Hallelujah.
That's all that matters. I mean, I shot a video for a hip-hop artist, a gospel hip-hop artist. It was very interesting.
Yeah, and I love their stuff,
yeah,
too.
And that's the thing is it's starting to grow. It's big in the South, big in the Midwest, but it's starting to catch along here in New England.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, as you know, my son is a rap artist. His name's Blacksmith, Blacksmif. He spells it different.
Sure.
And he's hardcore rap, but he also is branching out and doing very, I wouldn't call it inspirational as far as like going towards just gospel, but it's got, he gives out a message to the youth. So he's working towards, he does just off the top of his head very positive things. Him and his fiancée, Jillian Beth, they put together a video when this tornado happened. And that video is called Quiet Storm. You can Google it on YouTube. And it's fascinating. It's got excellent coverage of the tornado, and it got them noticed.
Is that right?
And the mayor had it played at the Dunbar Community Center to the youth. And everyone now, sometimes I'm not even known as TC anymore. I'm Blacksmith's mother, and I'm like, what? But that's okay. He's doing his thing, and I'm very proud of the two of them. And they're doing positive, good things. And DJ Scope and his store that they backed him to get him started with the
Is
Making
that right?
Moves Entertainment. And he's been very faithful to them. He's got tattoo, and he's got mama name tattoo, and, you know. But those are his crew, and they're 100% behind him. And
That's great to hear. That's,
yeah,
you know,
I'm
really
very
is,
grateful for that.
Yeah, Scope's a big name here in New England.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So he's got a lot going on that could really help the market and get music produced, distributed, and
Yeah.
so forth. So. But speaking of the music and the family, I mean, you come from a musical family. Your history is so deep in the jazz.
Yeah, it is.
You
It
know,
is,
and,
and it's strange because me and my brother, we've been getting together more and more. But when we were younger, I'm the youngest, he's the oldest, and the two middle ones, they have the same knowledge of it, but they're not very much out there as me and my older brother.
Sure.
And my brother, his memory with jazz is like if he went on Jeopardy, he would win millions.
Is that right?
And it's like I'm starting to tune into all that I've learned with just from hearing it, you know.
Okay.
And then he's giving me the names, and I'm like, oh, I know that. That's Nancy Wilson, or oh, that's Betty Carter, you know. And so he's finding out, you know your stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I know it. You know, Gloria Lynn, I'm digging all that stuff.
Okay.
And I bring a lot of that to the table, and I combine it with some Tina Marie. I really love the jazz side of Tina Marie.
Oh, yes.
I don't think people gave her enough credit for the jazzy way she sang. I mean, the
that's for
Square
sure.
Biz, Lover Girl was good for the pop stuff, but you ain't seen nothing yet, you know?
Right.
And God rest her soul. She,
Amen.
you know, she was a big instrumental mentor for me, and as well as Savannah Band
Okay.
and Billie Holiday's music, and of course Billy Eckstein,
Yes.
grandfather. That's a very big, long story. A lot of people, I don't know if they know, but Massachusetts, we got some really good musicians and jazz things going on, and like you know the Litchfield. And then Hartford, the jazz thing they have every year in the Bushnell.
Exactly.
And then they have Newport Jazz Festival, Rhode Island.
Absolutely.
This area, awesome,
Yeah,
you know.
And in New Haven, they have Jazz on the Green.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so yeah, we really
Yeah,
doing it
yeah,
big.
yeah.
You know?
It's loved out here, very much so.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's supported so well.
It is,
You know?
it is.
And that's the key. And speaking of support, I see you have an EP here? Or
That's
just-
it's just a demo,
It's your demo,
of my
okay.
stuff. And
This is a demo.
you know, I've got some originals on there that I've made. I made a song called A Song for Sky for my grandbaby when she was born, and it's
Okay.
just something that I kind of, like the rappers say, I just came out and spit, you know.
right.
So, you know, I got home and after she was born in the hospital, and it just came out, and
Wow.
it turned, I mean, I must say, I think it's very beautiful. A lot of people like it.
Okay.
It's done to a hip-hop version of Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. So it's unique, and it's, you know, and then there's a song I made about my experiences on traveling with PVTA bus lines. And it's just more so, there's some gospel in there, but it's a gospel, like I said, the Kirk Franklin type of
Yes.
sound. But I like the neo-soul
Okay.
mixture with jazz. So I have one on there that I made off the top of my head called Same Skin. And it just has a really strong funk jazz sound. And I come in with the Erykah Badu sound, you know, same skin, same suffering. And then, you know, we get
man.
deep.
I can
So,
dig
you
that.
know, it's online, and
Okay.
it's a free demo. And,
Okay.
you know, when I get out, I make copies. I burn copies and hand them out. But,
Okay.
you know, I'm still working as an independent artist.
Sure.
I'm not contracted with anyone, but
Okay.
I am faithfully involved with the Kevin Sharp Group because
Gotcha.
the Lord is where I get my, you know, my driving force from. But I've always wanted to make sure a project is done for our family,
Okay.
you know, because I hate for the jazz to just sit there and the talent to just
Exactly.
go unknown.
No,
So
I understand that.
Yeah.
You know, that, I really appreciate that.
thank you.
So, matter of fact, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to actually hear TC, Top Cat, Eckstein, do her thing here in our studios here on Next. So we'll be right back right after this.